Yo, 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 how you guys doing? So today we're gonna be reacting to a Canon video about Throne and Liberty. I know in the channel I'm mostly covering gacha games because it's the thing that I'm kind of addicted right now. But before that, long time ago, when I was more of a child, I used to play a shitload of MMOs. I played a lot of the old ones. I played Ragnarok, I played Elsword, Grand Chase, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, Guild Wars 2, and a shitload more. Terra, man, I can't even list them all. So, without further ado, we're gonna watch Canon's video that he went to the devs Q&A in Korea live face to face and talk to them about how the West sees their monetization as an issue and why and how they should change it. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So let's see what Canon has to say.
So I just got back from NCSoft headquarters and I had an opportunity to speak and ask questions to the people running Throne and Liberty. Not only did I ask them a couple of questions in regards to monetization in the West, as well as the version that we're getting in the West, but I was also sure to let them know that a lot of people in the West are already calling their game pay-to-win garbage simply because you can purchase Lucent, which is their auction house currency.
Man, I've played, just to give you guys some context, I've played Throne and Liberty in Korea till we all got purged with the re-verification, because I only had bought like a G2A account, those trashy ones that you don't get a re-verify. And I gotta say, the game is pretty fun. I don't know if it's gonna be as fun as Lost Ark, because I'm a mainly PvE player. I'm not that much into PvP, and I know Throne and Liberty heavily relies on the PvP system, on the territorial fights, on the PvPvE bosses. So take that in consideration. Still, I'm gonna play the game. I know I'm gonna enjoy it a lot because the first week, first month of an MMO is always fun. Doesn't matter if it's a pay-to-win garbage trash game or an amazing one. The early experience where you see everyone connected, everyone grinding, it's always magical. That is the magic of MMOs. So hopefully we're gonna have a lot of fun in this. So let's see what he has to say.
With real money. Here's what happened.
일단 외국에서는 이게 루센트를 살 수 있다는 게 아예 페이투윈 현질하는 게임, 쓰레기 게임.
I can only think of Asmon's viewers, and I'm an Asmon viewer myself, but I don't usually trash games that much.
때문에 저는 솔직히 되게 재밌다고 생각을 하는데.
Yeah, I also think the game is fun.
외국에서도 잘 됐으면 좋겠는데, 근데 그런 안 좋은 이미지가 좀 너무 많고, 그리고 NC 소프트도 히스토리도 그렇게 좋지
Yeah, and
않다고
soft is like
생각하는 사람들이
tarnished over here.
거의 다 그렇게 생각하고 있거든요, 외국에서. 그래서 외국 서버 나오면 이게 루센트를 살 수 있는 그 지금 현질하는 시스템이 똑같이 가는 건지 아니면 아마존이 그걸 조금 바꿀 수 있게끔 만들 건지.
To keep the video short, I followed it up asking question 2. Will we get the same version or an older version? That's also important. Because Lost Ark suffered a lot because the monetization itself was already an issue, of course, but the fact that the first build of Lost Ark was like the 1.0 season 2 build, and they had to do super ultra fast patches to try to keep up with Korea, to eventually catch up with Korea. That made the grind 10 times worse because the free-to-play players were getting 10 times as punished as they were originally in Korea. So that is important because as closer as we are initially to the version of Korea, or if we get a slower, more steady pace until we get through Korea, will allow free-to-play players to feel less of a burden, which was the main thing, in my opinion, that killed Lost Ark. The pacing, the fast pacing of the updates. Listen, I enjoyed it a lot, and I was happy that the updates were coming faster. But 90% of the player base got killed because of the pressure and the grind they had to put up just to keep up with someone that was spending like $100 on the game. So that's super important. As important as the monetization changes.
두 가지 질문. 좀 나눠서 설명드리면 저희는 글로벌 서비스를 하나의 같은 정책으로 해서 하는 것들을 지금 목표로 하고 있기 때문에
So probably no changes at all. Is that it?
현재 가지고 있지 않습니다. 그리고 서비스 권역이 두 군데이기 때문에 또 아마존이랑도 저희가 협의를 해서 진행하는 부분들도 있고 하지만 일단 저희가 같이 협의하고 나가고 있는 거는 저희는 한국
Okay.
서비스 그리고 아마존
That
서비스
doesn't really
전체가
mean
다
anything.
하나의 서비스
It's just
비슷한
marketing
걸로 나가는
speech.
것들로 지금 같이 협의하고 가고 있는 부분이라고 설명하면 될 것 같고 그리고 뭐 과거의 올드 버전을 가지고 뭐 서비스를 하나요 이런 질문으로 제가 이해를 하면 될까요?
Okay, straight to the point.
네, 그랬을 때
그 버전이 같이 가느냐 아니면 뒤따라가느냐 뭐 이렇게
네, 지금 이제 서비스 그 하기
A little bit behind. Okay,
시기가
that's
한국
normal.
서비스보다
I can
조금
accept if
뒤에
it's
서비스를
truly a
하고,
little bit.
그리고 저희가 한국 서비스를 하면서 부족한 부분들을 개선하는
Okay, so we're getting the
일부 뭐
QOL
앞쪽의
changes,
경험이라든지
which is the
이런
most
부분들을
important thing.
지금 그 에이지스 쪽에 나가는 버전에 먼저 적용을 하고 있어요. 근데 결국에는 양쪽 다 적용이 되는 내용들이고
Okay,
쉽게 설명드려서 개선된 것들이 양쪽 다
Okay, yeah.
반영돼서
so we're gonna be
말씀드리면
behind
될것
on content, but not behind on quality
같습니다.
changes.
과거의 어떤 스냅샷을 저희가 가지고 서비스하는 계획은
Okay.
아니에요.
That's nice.
일단 뭐 외국에서는 많이 싫어할 것 같아서 제가 만약에 추천을 할 수 있다면
네.
Yeah, we
루센트
really
살수
do
있는
hate the
거를
pay to
아예
win.
빼고 루센트를 파밍을 좀 더 쉽게 왜냐면
Yeah.
솔직히 현질을 안 하고 게임을
If the game only had the battle pass and the premium subscription, bro, everyone would play the shit out of the game. But since it has the ability to buy basically gold, oh man, it's gonna be tough. I know it's gonna be tough. Cause I'm an asthma viewer myself, and although I'm not judgmental, I always give the product a shot, a try to convince me. I know that the MMO audience is gonna kill the game, is gonna criticize the game so fucking hard that it's gonna remove everyone's desire to play the game, and that's so shitty.
하면 루센트 파밍하는 게 되게 힘들어요. 이게 좀
Yeah, I didn't play enough to know if it was that hard.
경험이 그렇게 좋지는
And I
않은
know
것
they
같아요.
changed it.
일단 외국에서는 이제 스론이 이제 나오는 게 이제 기대하는 사람들이 많은데 이제 그 페이투윈이라는 게 루센트를 살 수 있는 게 아예 시작도
True.
안 하는 분들이 많을 거예요.
Super true.
그런 피드백이 제일
Because even if the patron isn't too egregious, people were already so hurt by so many different patron systems on so many different games that they already created a protection within themselves. They're like, patron, no. This already hurted me way too much, so I don't want to give the shot to be hurt again. They are like traumatized to patron. It's like having a crazy ass ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend. For a while you get traumatized and you're like, no, I don't want to have any other relationships, please just leave me alone, until you heal yourself. And if they don't allow the player base to have a good connection and have fun and everything with the game, they are going to keep themselves on their little protective place and won't even try it, just to avoid getting hurt, losing more time and everything else.
제일 많아요. 그래서 저 채널만뿐이 아니고 다른 분들도 뭐 좀 외국에서 유명한 콘텐츠
Asmon Gold, for sure, he's talking about Asmon.
분들도 그 채팅창을 다 보면 그게 무조건 페이투윈 안
See?
한다. 그리고 당연히 이제 나쁘지 않다 이렇게 얘기를 하는 사람들도 있지만 그래서 차이가 있는지 그걸 궁금했어요.
현재는 뭐 하나로 협의되어 있는 현재 이제 모델로 서비스하는 것도
So it will have the same system. Ah, that's so bad, bro.
대한 어떤 우려나 그리고 뭐 어떻게 보면 과한 비행
Yeah,
이런
man, 'cause
부분들에 대한
there's also that. Because, for example, the Smilegate, the Lost Ark developers, they didn't even had a bad fame here in the West. Like, people didn't knew them, so they didn't knew if they had a history of having wholly aggressive pay-to-win games or not. So people at least were willing to give it a shot. Now NCSoft, everyone knows here in the West that they are a shitty company with super predatory monetization. And even if the Throne isn't that predatory, because Canon said previously on his streams while I was watching that it isn't as predatory as Lost Ark or BDO, which gets me excited, to be honest. But still, the fact that they already have a bad fame over here, it's gonna to again just put players further from the game.
대한 어떤 선입견 그리고 이제 회사에 대한 어떤 선입견 이런 부분들을 어떻게 좀 풀지라는 부분들로 계속해서 잘 협의하면서 좀 계속
And like, since the game is not dead on Korea, but it's dying on Korea in a certain way, because like the game didn't have I mean, it had a flawless launch in terms of infrastructure because I was there at the launch and it was pretty amazing how the launch was flawless. That being said, the game didn't manage to cultivate and to gather enough of a Korean audience to make the game feel ultra alive today. On the launch it was, but today the game doesn't feel that alive anymore. So they need to nail the West launch if they want to keep the game alive. Because if they don't nail the West launch, the game will just slowly die everywhere, and that sucks. Because I want to get fun MMO to play, bro. Fuck me.
개선해 보겠습니다. 내부에서도 지금 고민하면서 논의하고 있는 주제이기도 합니다.
And like because of that, sorry, I'm pausing it way too much. And because of that reason, they have to have a perfect launch with a smoother monetization that don't scare people away. They don't have to completely remove it. I wish they would, but they don't have to completely remove the lucent buying. But make it as smooth as possible, for fuck's sake, so people at least give it a shot. That's the most important thing. Because if they have fun, if the game is fun, the pay to win become a lesser of a problem. If they can't even start to have fun because they already have that preemptive thought on their head, then it doesn't matter if the pay to win is horrible or not, because they won't even give it a shot.
혹시 여기 팀이 외국에 지금 가지고 있는 마인드, 이런 루센트를 살 수 있다는 게 그 외국에서는 통할 것 같아요? 아니면 약간 좀 약간 미국 외국 문화를 잘 알고
They clearly
계시는지
don't
그것도 되게
understand the Western
궁금해요.
culture.
저희가 이제
Clearly.
직접 전체 글로벌 서비스를 하지 않고 번역을 나눠서 하는 부분들도 그
Yeah, listen what he just said over here. We're personally managing the entire. We're not personally managing the entire global service, us separating regions. But you just said you guys plan to run the game as one service, as one monetization structure, as you and AJS were working together to try to be a single entity when it matters when the matter is thrown on Liberty. So that's kind of it doesn't even make sense. Logically, it doesn't make sense because it said 5 minutes ago that you guys are treating it as a single thing, and now you're just trying to push the blame away, even though Amazon can't even be blamed because of that, because it is the main developer's fault. Because I'm 90% sure that Amazon is on there whispering on their ears, please lower the monetization at least a tiny bit, please, 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 we need it. Because all the Amazon MMOs are dead. I mean, Lorsak is dying, he's not dead. New World, unfortunately, is dead, like dead. And this is their last shot, because Blue Protocol is literally dead in Japan, and it's delayed until who knows how long. Like, even Japan doesn't want to play that game, so fuck. I don't know what they're gonna do if they fail Throne as well.
저희가 이제 직접 전체 글로벌 서비스를 하지 않고 번역을 나눠서 하는 부분들도 그쪽 문화에 대한 이해도가 높은 퍼블리셔를 통해서 서비스를 하는 부분들인 거고, 지금 우려하시는 루센트라는 부분들도 이 정도는 가능할 것 같다라는 부분들도 협의가 되기 때문에 지금 진행을 하고 있는 부분이거든요. 저희도 되지도 않을 거를 지금
You're not trying, but you are. In practical terms, you are doing something that it is 100% bound to fail, whether you like it or not. Having a heavy monetization on launch, on West, on a game that isn't even successful, on your home country that is acceptable of pay-to-win mechanics, is signing a death sentence to your own product.
할 생각으로 진행하고 있는 부분들은 아니잖아요. 그래서 우려하신 부분들을 그 AGS 쪽이랑 잘 풀어서 좀 개선해서 나갈 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
그리고 이제
And again, that's why the monetization has to be changed day one. It doesn't have to be totally removed, because the game totally depends on it, but it has to be changed day one. It has to be announced the week before, a month before launch, that they're going to do some changes to try and smoother it, so people at least give it a try.
루센트 시스템에 대해서 굉장히 사람들이 많이 나오고 외국뿐만 아니라 사실 우리나라에서도 굉장히 그걸 안 좋게 보는 분들이 많은데, 저는 지금 이 자리에서 좀 말씀드리고 싶었던 게, 지금 이 자리에 TL을 되게 좋아하시는 분, 그러니까 TL을 되게 열심히 하시는 분들이 많이 계시잖아요. 근데 이분들 중에 혹시 그 루센트 시스템이 너무나 그 과도한
clearly is.
과금이었다거나 아니면은
Clearly is.
이걸로 인해서 이제 페이 투 윈으로 너무 이제 그 게임이 좀 어렵다 이렇게 느끼신 분이 혹시 한 분이라도 계실까요? 저는 진짜
They're
이게
not gonna
없다고
talk because you're in Asia and they're not gonna disturb your moment to talk, to argue and scream and be loud. But Canon himself just said he's bothered by it, and I'm sure there are other people that are like, bro.
생각하거든요. 그러니까 막상 해보시면은 그러니까 외국인 친구분도 이제 조금 이게 조금 부정적일 것 같다라고 말씀하셨지만
It's not
직접
would, it
해본
will.
사람들은 이게 되게 유저 친화적이고 되게 좋은 시스템이라고 저는 생각을 해요.
It
그래가지고
doesn't
이제
even matter, bro.
지금
They're not even
이
gonna
시스템을
try.
운영하시는 분들이 너무 이제 큰 뭔가 비난을 받지
They are
않으셨으면
gonna
좋겠다고
get
말씀드리고 싶었고요.
shitload
So that last
backlash.
clip
Backlash.
was in response to me.
A
Actually,
lot of
it was
backlash.
just another player or audience member that was there. He was just essentially saying that, you know, as you guys read from the clip, he thinks that the system is fine and he wants, he's hoping that NCSoft gets more credit for what they've done.
Fucking
To
shill,
be fair,
bro.
I actually don't disagree with him in that
Oops.
regard.
I don't disagree completely in that regard. NCSoft has done better. The system isn't egregiously pay to win, but it's still not good. Not a good system. Yes.
Number one, NCSoft,
Yes.
all of their previous
Especially
titles
when you
up
talk
until
about
this
a
have
West
been really
audience.
bad when it comes to monetization. Throne Liberty's monetization, despite being systematically pay to win from day one, like they announced that even before the game came out, that loosened system, the monetization hasn't gotten worse. In fact, you could argue that it's gotten better. I would absolutely say that it's gotten better.
It's nice to
Outside
hear.
of the premium subscription they just did recently add, outside of that,
I don't mind that.
the actual systems in the gaps between a free-to-play player and a pay-to-win player, they've improved. It's been easier to catch the pay-to-win players. It's been easier to reach the caps of gear as a free-to-play
nice to
player,
hear.
which, by the way, I mentioned this in my TL review video, which I'll link in the description below.
Again, I was only able to play the game for like, what, 2 weeks or a month? I don't really remember because it was a long time ago. Because we got all purged with re-verify on the Korean accounts. So I can't play the modern version of the game without the changes in QOL that they supposedly did. That being said, I trust Canon words on it. So if he says it got better, I trust him. So that's nice to hear. Great to hear that they're at least trying, right? After all, the game isn't that popular in Korea, so they have to try it somewhere to make things different, right?
Oh, I do want to be very clear that my opinion on the pay to win is still the same. That is that in comparison to other Korean MMOs, it's really not that bad. I personally believe that the pay to win in Throne Liberty is better than the pay to win in Lost Ark and BDO. In other words, I think BDO and
See?
Lost Ark, it's more
That's what
pay
I
to
said
win
before.
than Throne and Liberty. That does not mean I
That makes me excited to play Throne,
accept
although
the
still
fact that pay to win exists. I am certainly more tolerant to it because it's like every game is pay to win now, right? And if you are looking at it from the lens of, hey, I am tolerant to a certain degree, how bad is it? As long as it's not too bad, I'll play it. Then I think Throne Liberty will be just fine. But that still doesn't mean we can't try to voice our opinions and let them know, hey,
Exactly.
we don't want pay to win to begin
they
with.
need to understand
Being
to
able
put this
purchase
information
loot,
inside their
being
head.
able to purchase gold is pay to win. We don't want
Yes.
that, period. And that's what I
Yes.
kind of hope to do. That's what I kind of hope to do in this forum, because not only did I want to express that opinion, but I also wanted to genuinely see what their reaction would be, what they would say. I don't know. I mean, how many opportunities do we get to talk to the top of the people at the top of the food chain, top of the pyramid when it
that's
comes
like
to these
super
MMOs in Korea,
rare
and tell
opportunity.
them face to face directly, be like,
I mean, if even Asmon couldn't get an interview with even AGS's head on their gaming department, right? On Lost Ark and New World and all of that. I mean, he did play with some devs on New World, but even if him couldn't get it, the fact that Canon had that shot and did indeed voice it, all of our worries to them, that's like a big W. That being said, I really hoped that they heard him, really heard him, instead of just answering whatever he said with no actual gathering of feedback, right? Especially after that guy defended the company, because that's like, sucks.
hey, on behalf of the Western community, we don't like this shit. This is what people think of you and your monetization scheme. It's not good. Also, I do want to mention that the updates that they did announce, almost all of the stuff that they announced were big
there's new
W's. The
updates?
community
Nice.
really liked the content that was coming. And they
Okay.
actually also
I haven't
added
heard any
things
of
that
it.
look to be on paper less pay to win. It
Okay.
looks to alleviate the pay to win a bit, but they did they did add more vertical progression. So we're gonna just have to see how those two
Okay, so
things balance
there's
out. But overall,
they took it
the
from one
roadmap,
side and gave
including
it on
the
another.
pay to win gaps or the pay to win systems, it seems to be getting a little bit better, even better, since the beginning. But again, it doesn't excuse the fact that the game is systematically pay to win. Put it this way, guys: if they announced that the Western version of Throne and Liberty was going to remove the ability to purchase Lucent, if they were going to remove the ability to purchase Lucent with real money, there would be W's across the board. That single change
Yes.
would mean the game, as long as you're tolerant to battle passes, and optional premium subs, which I feel like is a very different thing to straight up being able to purchase currency. If they were to remove the ability to purchase Lucent in the West, that would be such huge. I mean, it would help their reputation, and it would
Yep.
also be the difference between tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of players playing their game at launch. NCSoft, Amazon,
Exactly.
please understand and recognize, especially NCSoft, the Western audience is the biggest audience you're going to get with Throne and Liberty. It is your
Yep.
second chance. Throne didn't
The
do
biggest
very well
potential.
in Korea for obvious
bigger than
reasons
Korea.
that you're already aware of.
Statistically
The amount of people playing
speaking.
Throne in Korea is not even near the amount of people that are going to be giving it a shot in the West.
Exactly, that's
You
what I was
can
trying to say.
Multiply that number significantly by
Yep.
just removing these elements, which I
Yep.
know they're not going to be removed because the game fundamentally relies on this,
Oops.
and they would have to.
It fundamentally relies on pay to win Lucent because Lucent cannot be generated in game. If no Lucent is purchased, no items can be bought, no tax can be issued. Lucent cannot be farmed directly. Items can be farmed to sell for Lucent that is purchased by real players on the action house. All items that are traded are farmed by players in game. Your Lucent minus tax, which goes to Siege, goes straight to the player that farmed them. So basically, there's no organic way to produce Lucent as a free-to-play player besides just truly swiping. So because of that, basically, it will never get removed. I mean, there's a simple way to remove it. Just turn silver into gold. But that would completely break all the numbers and balancing currently on the game. So yeah, it would be a hard problem to tackle either way. That being said, I wish they would at least add a bit of organic farming to free-to-play players, or in some way, shape, or form reduce the gap between the free-to-play and the whales. I mean, I think you can only do that basically by increasing the amount you farm as a free-to-play, right? With that being said, the whale will also have access to that, so kind of complicated to truly balance it.
To completely change the game. If they wanted to remove the Lucent system, which they're not going to, but
Yeah,
just
they're not.
understand the Western
But it could
sentiment.
smooth it.
Please try and be a little bit more in touch with that. Please try and recognize that more. I'm telling you this right now. It's so significant. You are losing so many players by just having this system
Exactly.
of being able to purchase Lucent for your launch. It's huge. It's huge.
It is huge. Okay, lovely. I love Canon. I love his content. I love the fact that he's still trying in fucking 2024. He's still trying to be a full-on MMO creator, trying all the different games. Cause that's tough, dude. There's no audience anymore for MMOs. Like, it's super tiny. I know he plays an ARPG or other. He plays Diablo. He plays Last Epoch, and he's trying to be more of a variety guy. That being said, his main focus, his niche, his original niche, is MMOs. So I gotta say, the guy's doing God's work. Especially the fact that he's Korean, so he has access to the developers and he can play the game earlier on a legit way. So, man, it's always great to have him. He is, and it's super important. Although he's a small creator, he isn't at all. He's 100 times bigger than me. And he's for sure like on top 1% of MMO creators easily. That being said, although he's a small creator, he is like a super important piece on that board, right? On this game board, because He gives us an early feedback. He gives early info. He tries the game early. He talks with the devs. So he is such an important piece to the MMO scenario as a whole. Especially because now most of the MMOs are coming from Asia. There are not a lot of Western MMOs being created and developed here in the West. So yeah, thanks again, Canon. You're the guy. For you, you're the best. So yeah, guys, that was pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on my Twitch. Go follow Canon, go like his video, go watch his review on Throne and Liberty. I probably won't react to it. But yeah, that was pretty much it. See you guys in the next one. Peace.